Jesse Minter, according to this article, coach, KOUfootball.substack.com. He ran cover 4, 18%, cover 2, 10%, cover 6, 14%, and cover 3, 31% of the time. Michigan runs a ton of 4-2-5 defense of sets. Obviously, Jesse Minter worked under Mike McDonald, who, according to this article in the New York Times, implemented cover 3 and cover 1 as Michigan's primary schemes in 2021. The Wolverines have played cover 3 on about 28% of the opponent's dropbacks this year, according to Pro Football Focus, and cover 1 on 26.5%. Last season, it was 32% cover 3 and 22% cover 1. The breakdown of man versus zone is virtually identical, 64% zone this year, 65% last year. So I was looking at who were the best man coverage defenders for the Chargers, and Asante Samuel Jr. is the 25th best cornerback last year per PFF in terms of coverage grade at 66.8. Asante Samuel played man coverage 21.9% of the time and allowed 12 for 21 for 178 yards, which is 14.8 yards per reception. He had 2 interceptions, allowed 1 TD, and allowed an NFL passer rating of 61.3. He played 60% in the zone. Fulton in 23, his man coverage grade was 33.5, and his zone grade was 55.2. Cam Hart in 23 played man 53% of the time and had a PFF grade of 81. Tariq Still in 2023 played man 39.5% of the time with a grade of 58.2 and a zone grade of 70.2. Jalen Phillips had a man coverage grade of 76 and played it man 41% of the time and had a zone grade of 56. Keem Dent, man coverage grade 61.8, zone grade of 69.8. Thomas Harper had a man coverage grade of 55 and a zone grade of 72.5. And Derwin James had a man coverage grade of 52.1 and played man 23.8% of the time. In 2022, he had a man coverage grade of 69, zone was 64. 2021, he had a man grade of 67 and a zone grade of 80. Derwin's best year came when he lined up on the defensive line 21% of the time and in the box 40% of the time, both with the Chargers and with Florida State. So considering that Derwin James is best used in the box or on the line, you probably should consider using him like Michigan used Barrett at linebacker. Or they could consider running a 3-4 or 4-3. Ironically, this roster is filled with guys that play positions that they don't necessarily do well in those positions. Like Morgan Fox is a defensive interior defender, but he is best in coverage and is not so good in run defense, according to the stats last year. Khalil Mack has a second best coverage grade, according to PFF. He's also good in rush defense. Like I said before, Derwin James is a safety, but he's best in the box or on the line or outside of the offensive tackle in pass rush or in rush defense. The best rush defenders in terms of PFF rush grades are Bud Dupree had a 65.4 last year. Mack had a 90, Tooley had an 88, Boygby had an 86.4. The kind of better defenders in coverage, not considering Asante Samuel, are Hassan Bussey and Raheem Lane. They both scored in the 60s in terms of their coverage grade. Considering that our weakest part of our defense is probably the defense interior, they might consider using running a 5-2, but obviously that's going to take away a defender somewhere, probably in the secondary. So now they're running a 5-2-4, or they can utilize Derwin James more in the rushing the interior of the offensive line or a linebacker. Denzel Perryman is best in run defense and pass rush. His coverage is okay. Junior Colson is great at tackling. He's good in run defense, and he is okay in coverage. You could drop Morgan Fox into coverage. He did get a decent coverage grade last year, according to PFF. If you did run a 5 lineman set, you could drop Morgan Fox back. In the event you only wanted to rush 4. So here's kind of an example of what you could do. Defensive backs. You have Cam Hart, got a really good man coverage grade. You have Alohi Gilman, who is really good in rush defense as well as coverage. Have your next best 3 cornerbacks or defensive backs out there. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So then you would have to choose between these 3 on who you want to play at linebacker. Say Junior Colson, take him out. You have Denzel Perryman and Derwin James. You could use Derwin James in coverage, but again, his best usage is in rush defense and in pass rush. Didn't want Derwin James at linebacker. You could take him out there, put in Colson, maybe stick him into like a 4-3 role. That means you would lose probably a defensive back somewhere. Say we take out Fulton. Now you could have something like a double strong safety. Maybe use more Alohi Gilman more in coverage, and then him more in the strong safety role. You could use Khalil Mack in coverage, and then in the event that you decide to rush Derwin James, or vice versa. Khalil's rushing, Derwin James dropping. Or if you wanted to run a 5-2, that means you'll lose another cornerback. Say him. Could drop both Khalil and Derwin James back. Or if he's rushing, you could drop Morgan Fox back. Let's say this is Morgan Fox. He had a decent grade in coverage. Although the Chargers roster is filled with a dichotomy of people who do things well and other things not so well, it does give you versatility in how you want to play.